Hey traders, welcome back to another episode of Market Watch. This week we are going to talk about patience as it could be a waiting game within the markets. It was a super interesting close to the week last week as the US dollar basically crumbled at some fundamental news. So hold on tight, we are going to dig in to see exactly what happened and what this coming week could bring. Taking a look now at the DXY on the daily chart, we can see that Friday candlestick closed very weak. We broke down underneath that downward sloping trend line and closed around that 95.3, acting as our next area of support. Now, what caused this massive drop in the US dollar? Well, that was fundamental analysis, and let's take a look now exactly what news came out and how that came into play. Looking at Forex Factory, we can see that at 6:30 a.m., the U.S. news announcement of the advanced GDP quarter-on-quarter statement news came out. The expected forecast was at 2.6%, but the actual number fell very shy at a whopping 1.2%, showing up half of what it was expected. Now, what exactly does the advanced GDP really mean to us, and why did it have such a big effect? The annualized change in inflation adjusted value of all goods and services produced in the economy. So this is a measurement of the GDP growth, or the gross domestic product of the US. Now, this is a quarter-on-quarter statement, so it is released every 3 months. There's 3 different types of GDP that are announced. There is advanced, preliminary, and final. This was the advanced, and this is the earliest release of thus tends to be the most impact. So this means that the US has not had a lot of growth in the last quarter. So this number was very bad for the US and shows that the US has not had the growth that it expected holding these numbers. So this was taken on into the market, and traders really took advantage of this situation and traded against the dollar. Now, where could the dollar go from here? Who really knows? But I think that we are going to see some continuation of this weakness playing off of the back of this advanced GDP news. Let's take a look back at the DXY on the daily chart again to see exactly what this week could possibly bring after that news announcement. So taking a look, we had that really bearish close, and we are holding on support at 95.3. I'm still expecting the DXY to fall farther, possibly all the way back down to our baseline support at 93.30. If the market continues to go this way, we are going to see some heavy weakness within the dollar. And if the dollar actually breaks that 93.3 level, we are going to see a very bearish dollar for probably a long time coming into election season. So let's see how this played out in some other pairs in the market and where we could expect possibly some of these pairs to head this week. I'm taking a look now at the US dollar and the Canadian on the 4-hour chart. We can see last week that we did get that breakout to the upside on our downward sloping trend line, but following that fundamental news that came out, we did break down underneath that, and we did hold support on our upward sloping trend line right now. I really want to be calm and patient, and I really want to see us break out of this pattern. I want to see either a break back up to the upside or to the downside and see some new structure starting to form. I want to see a break, I want to see a retest, and I want to see some continuation playing. So until I see that, I'm going to be waiting very patiently on this pair and some other pairs here to come. Taking a look now at the euro dollar on the daily chart, we can see that last week we had this massive break to the upside once we broke our downward sloping trend line. We didn't really hold support at our 50 EMA and even closed above that 1.1150 area. I'm looking at being very patient on this pair this week, as after this large run up, I'm expecting to see a pullback, and I'm not really sure where this pair is now deciding to hold support or resistance at. So I just want to wait patiently, and I want to see some structure happening. I'm looking at always getting in off of a pullback, so I'm going to wait until that either forms to take a position to the upside, or we might actually see some resistance around this area of 1.1150 and still possibly head to the downside. But right now, I don't see any good safe entries that are going to allow me to have my stop in a really good place that's going to be on the opposite side of a support or resistance area. For those reasons, this week on the euro dollar, I'm going to be waiting patiently. If I do see some intraday opportunities happen, they are going to be very short moves in and out of the market. Taking a look now at US oil, we can see that after the rollover and the break of $44 a barrel, the market has continued to plummet, especially off of the oversupply of gasoline last week, Wednesday. The market is continuing just to get hammered, and hopefully we will find some support at the key area of $38 a barrel, where we could see a bounce back up to the upside, or a bounce and retest and continuation to the downside. This could also come to play of creating a massive head and shoulders pattern, which should hopefully bring oil back up to the $50 a barrel area and send everybody back to work in Alberta. Looking now at the pound dollar on the daily time frame, we can see that this pair is in consolidation. The price action is super messy, and we are in no clear up or down trend overall in the price action in the past week. I wanted to show you guys this because a lot of other currency pairs are in the same type of boat as this, as it is just awaiting and being very patient with the market, waiting for the market to tell us which way that it wants to go. I want to see a break of any direction. I want to see a retest. I want to see some structure really starting to form before I'm looking at taking any position and looking at holding that for a few days. There is some possibilities of trading on the intraday charts between the areas of consolidation, but still my overall bias is just to be super patient and calm and wait till the market decides to break and do something. I like trading with the trend. That's when you're able to capture the most pips and have the best risk to rewards. So for these reasons, on these type of pairs that you'll see in the market here so far, guys, I'm just going to be waiting patiently as I want to see some breakouts. I want to be trading with the trend and getting those pips. I want to thank you guys for watching this week. I wish that there was a little bit more to share with you and a little more opportunities that we could all trade off of, but we're just going to be super calm and patient. Hopefully later this week, as the markets tend to move a little bit more, we're going to see a little bit better price action and hopefully be able to take advantage of that. Thanks again for watching, and stay tuned this week for GoTV.